What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is up? They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really let, hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these pants on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's how I do this song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Ooh, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was gonna, I thought Lil Bird was gonna turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Cliff, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Van Zant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. Hit me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm coming. I just went and bought me a little snack from the Mexican spot when I was on my way back from the barber shop. So I'm getting that prepared. But I'm coming on camera. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to discuss. We got some things to talk about. And we're going to do it like only we can. I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming on camera. Don't worry. Just dressing up my stuff. Gonna dress you up in my love. Gonna dress you up in my love. All over you, from your head down to your toes. Okay. All right. Put a little bit of that on there. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. Oh yeah. And a sprinkle of this. Add a little kick. I should give you a little bit of kick. Oh, not too much. We ready, y'all. We ready. I'm glad they gave me all that stuff on the side. I like some good seasonings. And I like to put her on there. They gave me some. They tried to be nice to the dog. Give me some stuff on the side where I could dress it up. Alright. But yeah, wait. There I go. There I go, there I go, there I go. Oh boy. They gave me everything I need. Glad about that. What's going on, y'all? What is up? What is up? What is up? So I was going to talk about all of this stuff in a Sugar Spike Daily. I was going to do a pre-recorded Sugar Spike Daily, get on out the way, and call it a day. But I was told that these conversations need a little flushing out. Mm-hmm. That's good. That they need to be flushed out and unpacked. And I don't know that a 15, 20-minute Sugar Spike Daily would be able to do that. And so thus, I didn't necessarily want to do it tomorrow on Silly Saturday because they were kind of hard, tough conversation. And Silly Saturday, we just had to be silly. Get some stuff out and keep it moving. I told you I just bought me a quick snack. Something to eat. I bought me some. Actually, what I'm eating on is I went to a Mexican restaurant across the street from the barbershop and got some ceviche. It's really good Tijuana Joe's. And so I bought some ceviche, and their ceviche is so good. So, mm, mm, mm. So that's what I'm snacking on. So good. Mm, mm. Let me stick that to the side. Okay. So, yeah. So yeah, let's talk about it. So let me think. Should I go with the heavy stuff first, or should I drag Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Hey Harold. Hey my love. Hey Harold. Which one y'all want? Should I drag Sarah, not Harold, Sarah Huckabee Sanders first, or should I tackle this hard topic first? Because the hard topic is going to take us some time to unpack, especially when I show you the video. I did compile a video. I hope it came out. If it didn't come out, I'm going to be real mad. But, so start with Sarah Huckabee. Put a 27 in the chat if y'all want me to drag Sarah Huckabee Sanders first. Hey, Dose. What's going on? You say drag her. Drag that bull. Y'all want me to drag Sarah? So Sarah Huckabee Sanders' first day in office. Thank you so much, Quintessential. Thank you for your donation to the snack fund. Thank you so much for that cash app. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, God of mercy, God of love. Her first day in office, I believe, was yesterday or day before yesterday. And on her first day in office, one of her first things that she decided that she was going to do as the new governor of the great, I think the first female governor of the great state of Arkansas, was to enact a executive order which makes it which eliminates the use of the term Latinx. Now, if you don't know, Latinx is a term, instead of saying Latino or Latina, the term Latinx is a term that can be used for people who are non-binary, non-gender conforming, or can be used conclusive of all the full scope of the Latin community, those included in the Latin community. Now, let me begin by saying there are members of the Hispanic Latinx community, those people from those countries that are considered a part of that umbrella or that ethnicity, because it's considered an ethnicity, not necessarily a race. So there are members of that particular ethnicity, that group of people, who would fall under the category of Latinx, that don't want any parts of Latino, Latina, or Latinx. It ain't the X part that they don't like. They don't like the part that is Latin, because then if you call them Latin, that means that it immediately attaches European, nomenclature and ideology and text to them, context to them. So, but that term Latinx was derived for people who it was first derived for people who considered themselves, because in the Spanish language, they have very hard masculine and feminine verbs and nouns and conjugations of verbs. So especially with their nouns, they have very clear cut. It's either masculine or feminine in terms of nouns. And so Latinx was created because people who were non-gender conforming or non-binary did not feel that was good for them, or that wasn't fair to them. So the term Latinx came. And so, and then it started to become an umbrella for all of the Latin community, be it Latino, Latina, or Latinx. It would just be Latinx to be inclusive of everybody, regardless of gender. She said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." Now she quoted. I don't have it in front of me, but she quoted this this group of people who do put out opinions on the etymology of words in the Spanish language. They are a group of people that are looked at credibly in terms of determination of etymology and grammatical things with regard to the Spanish language and the derivations thereof. However, this ain't got nothing to do with it. She quoted them, but this ain't got nothing to do with that. And they've already come out real fast and said, yeah, that wasn't what we were talking about, sweetheart. Don't try and use us as your, footnotes or as your works cited. Don't try and use us on your works cited sheet. Let's be clear. Quasimodo came down from that bell tower down there to the Notre Dame Cathedral and wanted to be, racist and bigoted and discriminatory as she always has been. She is a horrible human being. And when you look like a bitch that looked like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, have y'all seen her? She is Quasimodo at best. And I'm trying to be nice to her by calling her Quasimodo and saying that she descended from the bell tower down there to the Tower of Notre Dame. Hey, Coffee and Talk. Who are you, Sarah Huckabee Sanders? I mean, what's next? You gonna tell us black people that you gonna outlaw the term black from now on? Now we got to go back to colored. That's what's next down the horizon. No, y'all can't be calling black because your skin ain't actually black. It's brown. So instead of calling y'all black, we just gonna call y'all colored. Listen, one of the most egregious things to ever happen in all of the annals of time, one of the worst facts in all of human history and the whole history of our species, is the fact that this whore has a hyphenated name, meaning a bitch married her and my stinking ass is sitting over here single. My motherfucking ass sitting over here single. A bitch married this fucker. Like somebody willingly decided to put a ring on that. Because let's be clear, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, your pronouns are it and that. Not they, them, not he, she, not he, him, she, her. Yours is it and that. Let's be clear. Where do see this is the problem. You have white women. White women owe a great deal of their freedom to black people and other minorities who fought for the civil rights of all people that did not fit in the big four. Y'all know what the big four are: white, male, heterosexual, and what's my last one? White, male, heterosexual, and Christian. All if you didn't fit into the big four, they didn't care about you in the Constitution. But there were black people and other minorities that fought long and hard, bled, sweat, died, and all of that good stuff, so that white women can be included in the civil rights that were garnered for them. And as soon as they had a chance, they said, fuck y'all, we have our white privilege, we have our mantle of white privilege and our breastplate of white supremacy. So much so, you have fuck bitches like Sarah Huckabee Sanders that vote against their own best interest. Because please be clear, she wants no parts of women having the right to choose. She wants no parts of that. Consequently, she would like to have every other minority group outside of white heterosexual white men and heterosexual white women that align with her ideologies. Because she'll have some of y'all white women sit down up the creek without a paddle. But she wants everything to kiss up to hang from the nutsack of, and to garner all of the good graces of all people who fall into the big four: male, white, heterosexual, Christian. Like, you would think that a bitch that looks like that would want equal protection for everybody. You would think that she would want equal protection for wildebeest. I expect Sarah Huckabee Sanders to be fighting for the rights of beluga whales and wildebeest and rhinoceroses in her state, because she probably falls into one of those animal subgroups. Much less trying to restrict the rights of anything or anybody. Ma'am, I told you your pronouns are it and that. Let me take another couple bites out of my ceviche. Mm. You got a lot of fucking nerve. Remember when she was press secretary, White House press secretary? Every day she would have on them raggedy ass pearls, and 3 out of the 4 days out of the week, she would wear that heinous ass pink fuchsia dress that looked god awful on her, just to try to refute the fact that she wasn't in the some other subspecies. And so what she would do is wear this pink to try to remind you that she was woman. I am woman, hear me roar. No, bitch, we hear you roar, but you ain't woman. Helen Reddy wasn't singing about you, sweetheart, when she's saying I am woman, hear me roar. You just heard the roar part. Baby, you ain't no woman. Nowhere in America. She's an awful person. She's an awful person. Awful. Awful. She's a horrible person. Oh yeah, before I talk about the big topic of the day, let me drop the link. Some of y'all may want to come up to discuss today's major topic. What we need to have the tough conversations about. There's the link. March, can y'all drop that periodically in the chat? I mean, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I mean, Jesus God. I mean, if you saw Sarah, listen, if you were walking down a dark alley and Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you know, emerged out of the shadows, I'm telling you, you would think she was Bigfoot. I'm telling you, you would think she was Sasquatch. I'm telling you, um, you expect her. What's the character from Star Wars there that go? "Arrrrrrr"? That's Chewbacca. Chewbacca. I swear she gives you Chewbacca. If she emerged out of the shadows in a dimly lit alley or in the dark, you would be thinking Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or Chewbacca. Arrrrrr, the bitch is ugly. She's ugly inside, and she's definitely ugly outside. You know how somebody who real ugly, but you be like, oh, they got a nice personality. She ain't got shit. She ain't got shit. She's a human septic tank. That's why her pronouns are it, that. On her first day in office, she decided, screw you, Hispanic people. I don't want no parts of y'all. Screw you, Latin X community. We want no parts of y'all. Kick rocks, bitch. Now, let me give a little tap tap to you all in the Hispanic and Latinx community. Mm-hmm. Because we saw how a lot of you all voted this past election. And many of you all in the Hispanic and Latinx community decided it was a good idea for y'all to vote for these fucktards over here in the Republican Party. And now your chickens have come to roost. First day in office, she said, oh, you voted for me? Great. Too late now. I'm here now. You finna get it raw with no lubrication. And that's how it's going to go. And the Republican Party is going to continue to give you their ass to kiss. They're going to wait for you to vote for them. And after you give them their vote and they get in office and they take the oath of office, they're going to ram it up hard and with no lubrication. And that's what she's doing. She's showing you the blueprint. If anybody knows the blueprint, it's Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And she's showing you the blueprint. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She don't care. She does not care. A mess. A mess. And white women, there's a ton of white women over there in the Republican Party that have been um that have reaped the benefits. And there are a lot of Hispanic people that have reaped the benefits of a lot of the blood, sweat, and tears that Black people fought for, going all the way back to the days of slavery. And y'all can just sit back and reap the benefits and act like, oh, everything's good now because you ain't have to be the one that died. Your ancestors were the ones being slaughtered by the millions. And y'all were so happy to go and vote for these Republican, racist, bigoted, and discriminatory ass white people. You thought it was gonna be different for y'all because y'all thought it was just the blacks, just the Black people got to deal with that. Oh, we don't got to deal with that. We Hispanic. They like us in the Latinx community and Hispanics. They like us, and as soon as they got a chance, they reminded you. As soon as they got a chance, look at what Sarah Huckabee Sanders did. As soon as she had the opportunity, first day, she didn't even wait for a whole 24 hours to go by. First day, bitch, you get something. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. So good. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. Some people in the Hispanic and Latinx community are going to chop it up to be this big. Oh, that's not an issue for us. That's really an issue for the LGBTQ plus community. That don't affect us. Okay. Okay. Keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. And see, the thing about it is, there's going to come a time where it's not going to stop. I keep telling y'all, if you don't fight for one marginalized community, they're coming after yours. You can't decide that you're going to let one marginalized community suffer and think they won't come after yours. Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm sorry for eating on camera. I should not be doing that. That's real unprofessional. That's Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I ain't saving my energy for her. I don't have that kind of energy. I gotta have energy for tomorrow for Silly Saturday. So I won't do this with you today's Quasimodo. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm not gonna do this with you. So let's get to our topic. Hey, I have a video to introduce us into the topic at hand. Priorities forever in the wrong places. Where does Arkansas rank? Hello. Thank you. Here, I couldn't have said it better myself. So let's unpack this topic right here. Here's the video.
That he is married to a white man. Someone posted, man, I swear white dudes are getting all the good bleep men. We need to hold an emergency town hall or something. Another person wrote, all these first Black men and women all have white partners, from the White House to the Supreme Court to local legislators. I want to know, what are your thoughts? And is there anything to the mindset that some successful Black gay men are attracted to white men? Q, let's start with you. What do you think about this?
Set it out.
Are you attracted to white men?
She's a white lady.
It's, you know, we don't really have enough time to really unpack this whole issue on the show. I'm just going to say this in short. Why do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this man would have been a postal worker and or whatever, we wouldn't have gave two hells that he was married to a white man. First of all, we didn't even know who this man was until a few days ago. And really unpack why we do that. Because on one token, we can't be pushing for equality and be treated equal and this whole narrative about, you know, we're all the same. And then on the next token, we want to slight people when they get with a white partner. I mean, I don't know.
Well, Q, I'm not as mature as you. I don't like it. I don't like it. If we're going to keep our foot on the necks on these African-American athletes in football and basketball for dating white women, then we need to keep our necks on these successful, multimillionaire, wealthy, Black entertainers and LGBTQ community havers that have white significant others. Don Lemon, Billy Porter, Lee Daniels, here's a Spanish, Karamo Brown, Ryan Russell, Sean T, Mike Sam, WWE wrestler Darren Young, RuPaul, Todrick Hall, Coleman Domingo. Come on now, you mean to tell me of all the people that you have to choose from that look like you and I, that you can't find one of us today?
Well, I
have a problem.
I told you there was a lot for us to unpack, and we don't have the time here to unpack it. But there's, you know, I wish we had a longer show where we can get into the reasons why sometimes, particularly in our community, people go that way.
Right.
Let's not, you know, if we don't have a damn conversation, let's have it. Let's not pretend like Negroes in certain spaces be damn popping. You know what I'm saying? It's like it ain't an overabundance of highly successful and qualified Black men. Women, y'all are experiencing that issue.
You are qualified. You are qualified, Funky. Look at the people that I just mentioned and look at their significant others. Google it online and tell me you don't stand toe to toe, 10 toes down with anybody that any of them are with.
I don't come across them people per view, and I don't stay around them people, and I might not be them people type. I mean,
what he's saying is they ain't at the bar with the Hanukkahs. Right. Like they don't be in his social circle. I'm gonna say this: it's really none of our business. Like they can be with who they want to be with. If you love, my whole thing has always been the motive. Yes, there is definitely disproportionate numbers of successful Black women and successful Black men, and a lot of our brothers. Listen, we got a ways to go with some of us. We making strides. We definitely are. And there's a lot of us to be proud of. And I do know it's hard to find a mate on your level. That is definitely hard for all of us. If your motive is I don't like Black people, so I'm going with white because white is better, then I can't rock with you. And that's a negative. And I don't want to hear nothing about you talking about being pro-Black. That is one thing. If you happen to fall in love with someone that's in your social circle, because if you're an overachiever, most likely you spend a lot of your time in your career, at work, and social events around your job. So you're going to be around people that are in your social circle. So that's who you have to choose from. I get that. If you're avoiding your...
That's the long and short of it. Wait, I got to guess. See who's back there. Oh, that's my girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, I thought I'd hop up here really quick. I was just listening. Had to get on my laptop to hear what you got to say about this.
Listen, and let me drop the link again. Let me see if I can drop this link again for somebody who may want to come up. Anybody who wants to come up. I listen. If I'm gonna be brutally honest,
You are.
and I always have to be, I disagree with Funky Dineva so wholeheartedly. Almost everything that he said is I disagree with, and it's almost depressing to hear what somebody who is someone of notoriety and from now I know him that I know Q from when we went to college together. So I know Q from when he was back in Miami in high school. That's a whole other story for a whole other day. But what I'm saying is the narrative that he is putting out there, the part that was most upsetting to me is the part where he said, "Oh, don't act like there's a whole lot of Negroes out there that's black and gay that got a lot going on." And I was like, really? Like, really? That's really how you feel? Like, there's just this small number of, you know, black gay men that are successful, that are that are productive, that are great. I could go up and down my Facebook timeline and show you any number. I'm talking hundreds you know what I'm saying?
I missed the part. I didn't hear all of his arguments. So he is.
I want to play it again. I'm gonna play
Okay.
it again because I really want people to because to me, even Al Reynolds, when he came, he said, "Well, wait a minute. What?" Because I guess Al Reynolds was like, "What do you say? Because you're qualified. What are you talking about?" Because at first, his first thing that he started off wrong with me because he was like, "Well, if he was a postal worker, we wouldn't care." Yeah, I would. I would care if he was a postal worker. I would care. I absolutely would. I absolutely would because I'm a side eye that postal worker, just like I side eye Sean T and RuPaul. I'd be like, mm, mm.
So it sounds like he's giving more of the, okay, I'm in a certain socioeconomic class, therefore.
I don't want to speak for him. I'm gonna let y'all hear it again. I'm gonna play it again. I don't want to speak for him. Hey,
All right.
Tracy done came up. Tracy finna come up here yelling. We are not talking about Carrie. You cannot come up here yelling.
Number one, I wasn't even coming to defend Karen, but I will say drag Sharice by whatever she got on because I can't stand her. Just for you. But go ahead and play it because I have thoughts. I have thoughts and I have feelings.
I'm gonna play it again because I really want y'all to really listen to all of the different things that are coming out in this. It's a lot in this conversation.
That he is married to a white man. Someone posted, "Man, I swear white dudes are getting all the good bleep men. We need to hold an emergency town hall or something." Another person wrote, "All these first black men and women all have white partners, from the White House to the Supreme Court to local legislators." I want to know, what are your thoughts? And is there anything to the mindset that some successful black gay men are attracted to white men? Q, let's start with you. What do you think about this?
Set it out.
Are you attracted to white men?
He's a white lady.
It's we don't really have enough time to really unpack this whole issue on the show. I'm just gonna say this in short. Why do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this man would have been a postal worker and or whatever, we wouldn't have gave two hells that he was married to a white man. First of all, we didn't even know who this man was until a few days ago. And really unpack why we do that. Because on one token, we can't be pushing for equality and be treated equal and this whole narrative about, we're all the same. And then on the next token, we want to slight people when they get with a white partner. I mean, I don't know.
Well, Q, I'm not as mature as you. I don't like it. I don't like it. If we're going to keep our foot on the necks on these African-American athletes in football and basketball for dating white women, then we need to keep our necks on these successful, multimillionaire, wealthy, black entertainers and LGBTQ community havers that have white significant others. Don Lemon, Billy Porter, Lee Daniels, here's a Spanish, Karamo Brown, Ryan Russell, Sean T, Mike Sam, WWE wrestler Darren Young, RuPaul, Todrick Hall, Coleman Domingo. Come on now. You mean to tell me of all the people that you have to choose from that look like you and I, that you can't find one of us today?
Well, I
have a problem.
I told you there was a lot for us to unpack, and we don't have the time here to unpack it. But there's, I wish we had a longer show where we can get into the reasons why sometimes, particularly in our community, people go that way.
Right.
Let's not, if we gonna have a damn conversation, let's have it. Let's not pretend like Negroes in certain spaces be damn popping. You know what I'm saying? It's like it ain't an overabundance of highly successful and qualified black men. Women, y'all are experiencing that issue.
You are qualified. You are qualified, Funky. Look at the people that I just mentioned and look at their significant others. Google it online and tell me you don't stand toe to toe, 10 toes down with anybody that any of them are with.
I don't come across them people per view, and I don't stay around them people, and I might not be them people type. I mean,
what he's saying is they ain't at the bar with the Hanukkahs. Right. Like they don't be in his social circle. I'm gonna say this: it's really none of our business. Like they can be with who they want to be with. If you love, my whole thing has always been the motive. Yes, there is definitely disproportionate numbers of successful black women and successful black men, and a lot of our brothers. Listen, we got a ways to go with some of us. We making strides. We definitely are, and there's a lot of us to be proud of. And I do know it's hard to find a mate on your level. That is definitely hard for all of us. If your motive is I don't like black people, so I'm going with white because white is better, then I can't rock with you. And that's a negative. And I don't want to hear nothing about you talking about being pro-black. That is one thing. If you happen to fall in love with someone that's in your social circle, because if you're an overachiever, most likely you spend a lot of your time in your career, at work, and social events around your job. So you're going to be around people that are in your social circle. So that's who you have to choose from. I get that. If you're avoiding your...
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
I've heard on your channel before that you've made commentary that wasn't positive for some of the people that Al mentioned, like who's the Todrick Hall and the RuPaul and
he called out the whole grocery list. He was calling out.
And I've heard you say you weren't, you weren't exactly in favor of their partner choices in both cases, like a RuPaul, Todrick Hall, and some other folks.
There's a certain person who he mentioned. I know them personally because they went to college. They went to FAMU. I went to Florida State, but we were in the same. There at the same time. Let's just say I know personally that they were into black people. I know personally.
You said that the person was into white people, the one that you know.
No, they were not.
Oh, they were not into, okay.
And so, but now I'm going to tell you all. And so my point is there's two things that I want to bring up about it. One is a lot of times these same people, before they get put on or get notoriety, they have no problems being in love with, being with, being in relationships with, being sexually active with black people. And the moment that they get their notoriety and money, it's like they say, oh, I'm not doing this Toyota Camry no more. I'm going to get this Bentley. As they're going to get a white man is now getting something that's better. And a lot of times, and I think one of the things that Al Reynolds was saying, look at some of the people that they're attached to that's white. They're not better than you are. I think that's what he said. Like, look at all of these people. Look at who they're married to. It's not like they're marrying somebody of their equal. They're just marrying, in some cases, people that are white and that are trash. That's the first thing I want to say. The second point that I want to bring up is this. The reason why we see this overabundance of the black people who date white people is a little bit about what Claudia Jordan is talking about. White people are not going to black spaces to even find out whether or not there are successful, great, artistic, intelligent black gay men. They're not going in those spaces. They're staying in their spaces and waiting for those, self-hating and self-loathing black people that want no parts of black people that are going to just go over there and do anything they can to, mosey up against a white people. So that's all that they want to be in is white circles
I mean, it's a whole dichotomy that, oh, do we have the time to unpack? It's a whole shit show. A whole shit show. Tracy, you was gonna say something before I started the video.
I cannot stand that they made me somewhat agree with Claudia. It bothers me that I have to somewhat agree with Claudia. What I will say is when it turns to my preference because of where I have come versus my preference where I start is where I normally see a problem, right? Because if my preference when I start is people that look like me, and then my preference once I get to where I want to be is anybody but the people that look like me, I feel like there's some self problems there, right? So, some internal things that you need to lay on somebody's couch and deal with, honey, right? But if your preference has always from the mud been whoever
Right.
loves me, I love them, you know what?
Hmm.
Do you? If you have been through every successful person you possibly could get your hands on, literally and figuratively, however you want to go through them, if you've been through them all and it didn't work, and then you look outside to try and find something because you really want love, all here for it. But if your problem goes to, hey, now that I've made it, you a peon and you beneath me, and I wouldn't even look. I won't even go back to the bar where the Honda car's at. I wouldn't step foot in there to find. That's when I start to feel like there are some self problems there, and I feel like Funky has some of those self problems.
Well, we ain't gonna
I
even
feel
start.
like a lot of I feel like a lot of people make it past the who make it past middle class, who like once you, yeah, because I feel like for us as African Americans, our thing is like if you're middle class, you're like, okay, but then once you make it past that thing of no longer being middle class and you kind of reach the next threshold, then it turns into a your space should reflect who you are on the inside. And if who you are on the inside is jacked up, then it's going to reflect in the partners you choose, the relationships you keep around, the things that you have going on. And I hate to say it, your community as well as my community, there is a lot of therapy that needs to happen to deal with the things that you had to go through to get to where you are so you can love yourself and be okay. And there's just a disconnect that I don't like.
I think part of it is too. I wouldn't go as far as to say that these people, especially some of the people that he mentioned, are self-hating and self. I don't think that they hate themselves or their blackness. However, I can't negate the fact that there's this embedded, ingrown um, um, view of blackness that makes it diminished in capacity. And what I mean by that is this: I travel in some circles with black gay men that are some of the most, if I put these people out there and put their names and resumes and net worths and stuff, you'll be like, oh wow, these are fucking great people. You understand what I'm saying? All of them beautifully made. All of them have black partners that are equally successful, and so forth and so on. But my thing about it is, the point that I'm making is, I think that what happens in their quest to become successful, they get amongst these white circles because they believe that that's their only mechanism and manner with which to be successful. And to a certain degree, they have found that success. Look at the people who he's named. They have watched that blueprint and found success. And by them finding that success in those white circles, to them, I can't negate that they probably look at it and say, well, that is the key to success. These people are successful. They got me to my successful place. They
took me to where I wanted to be. These people loved on me, unconditionally and so forth and so on, because there's even that part. Because sometimes as black people, we could be hard on each other, especially being black and gay. And that's the big part that they didn't even mention, because the black community is still not tackled what it needs to tackle with regard to dealing with black LGBTQ members of our own community. Whereas our white counterparts a lot of times are a lot more embracing and a lot more loving. However, please don't come at me with what Funky Dineva was saying was there ain't a whole lot of black gay men that's good to choose from. That, to me, that's the most upsetting part of the whole conversation, was that whole thing right there.
You have people who are, I don't know what they're measuring, well, what Funky is measuring in terms of success is, because I see people, I mean, I live in a very diverse area. I see people who, probably are not what Funky would consider successful, but they are, in these interracial relationships and seem to be just fine with that. I think that, like, for example, like a RuPaul, for example, I've seen some of his some stories about him. He seemed to have hung out a lot from his younger days with a primarily white crowd from the get-go. That just seemed to be his world. That's his interest in punk rock and all that type of stuff. That just seemed to be what he was interested in. And that was the world that he socialized in a lot. So it didn't surprise me when I found out that he was married or in a relationship with someone who, a white person. I wasn't the least bit shocked about that. I mean, Funky Dineva himself, has dated white guys, I don't know if these white guys are in the same, I'm guessing they're in the same success social circle as himself, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's as simple as just saying I'm self-loathing, self-hating, if that's what you like. But I do believe that there are people that their social circle has been for the longest been of certain people of a certain ethnicity or race. I'll put it like that. I've seen it a lot. I've seen a lot of black people. I have family members who they grew up, basically, most of the kids in school are white. Most of the college they went to, they're primarily around white people. So when I meet their significant others, it's no shock to me that their significant other is of white or other ethnicity. I can see that. That's what they've been brought up around. That's just my perspective on that part. Let me go on.
And let's be clear. White people, especially white people of influence, they love to say, "Oh, you're one of the good ones." You know what I'm saying? Like when they have black people that come around their social circles or in their, vicinity socially, and they go, "Oh, you're one of the ones that I can hang around," and they go after. Let me just call it what it is. A lot of the people that were named, if they went into the black spaces and black areas, we'd be looking at them like, girl, girl, girl. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm saying that because it's like they I think when the situation may have to go down. Okay.
They're a bit undesirable to people who look like
Well,
us.
not, and I'm not just saying physically undesirable, not that they're not attractive,
Oh, no,
but
no, 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 no.
I'm talking about in terms
Personality,
of
like
exactly.
like how they exude, the way you carry yourself, your oomph ain't there.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
And so I think that what happens is white. it- See, there's so many angles to it. There's the fetishization of black bodies by white men
Absolutely,
and women.
absolutely.
There's that whole piece of it. There's the piece of, on the opposite end of the spectrum, black people who diminish the worth of their own people because of tropes and embedded racism in the fabric of how we even see ourselves
Mm,
as a people.
of course.
And then there's the space and opportunity, because you have when the two things collide, these black people that look up to white people so much so that they're going to do everything to be around them, to be in their purview, to be in their vicinity. And so because they do that, and that may amass them a certain amount of success in their own right, those white people gravitate to them because that gives them that blackness that they fetishize, but they feel like, oh, I don't have to be afraid of you, because they're afraid of the rest of us. Let's be clear. I don't have to be afraid of you because you come around us and you know how to speak with the Queen's English, and you know how to make everything sound like a question, and you know how to dress like us, and so forth. And so eh, it kills two birds with one stone for both parties
Mhm.
there. Now, I don't want to negate the fact that you do have a group of people who, like you said, Tracy, I like whoever like me. But this time it happened to be a white person, it was a white person. If this time it was a black person, it was a black person. I don't like to group RuPaul in this situation because RuPaul is a whole different story. You could do a whole case study on RuPaul because RuPaul ain't really care for black people even back before RuPaul was RuPaul.
Mhm.
He didn't care for us way back then. Before he even made it big, he wasn't even trying to be a part of what we had going on.
You know,
But then, no, no, no. But then when he becomes successful, the white people look to him to be the spokesperson for all the blackness and all of the black vernacular and all the black everything. And us black people, especially us black gay people, look at that RuPaul like, well, not the younger. The younger ones, they don't know no better. But those of us of a certain age, we'll look at her like, girl, girl, a girl, a girl, a girl. But
like, oh, you picked the spokesperson that is acceptable to you, and that is just
exactly,
who we're gonna have. Okay,
exactly.
I got to deal with
Hmm.
what I got to deal with.
Hmm.
Uh, but I think what bothered me about what Funky said is there is so much minutia. There's just so many things that it could be, or so many things that happen, or so many things that, there's so many things. And he just made it seem very singular, like, oh, da 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 da, and then that's just it. And it's like, but it's not. It's not, and it's not for anyone, because you always have the different aspects of kind of, where you grew up, how you grew up, what you were around, how you feel about things, where you went to college, what that experience was like, how your overall life has gone. And then, to Claudia's point, yeah, there is some times where you end up, with a coworker, you wasn't expecting it, that wasn't where, but it was just you
Hmm.
grew this relationship over time. So there's just so many different ways to see something, and Funky was making it very
I mean,
black and white, and it's
he
just
was
not.
cut off at the moment where he said it ain't a whole lot of black gay men that's, wait, what?
As somebody who I appreciate all forms of the male anatomy. I don't care who carrying it. I can appreciate
You
it.
know what that's
All
reduced
forms,
to?
right?
That's reduced to black men who say, well, yeah, black women have too much of an attitude. There ain't no real black women that know how to treat a black man. And I'm sure every black woman look at him like, bitch, what? You can stay over
Exactly.
there with them now.
Exactly. Because there are some times where
Really?
I look at I'm like, wait. El Teddy, is he a part of you? Because wait, is he the B in the community? Because if he's the B in the community, I might could give this a try, because everything in this package is what we all looking for this in this package. Is he to be in the community? Because we all could get us a try. So for me, to see people where it's like you see it, it's there. To I don't like the way he just I feel like
That
just
was self-loathing. Now
yes,
that
like
right
it
there,
invalidates
that
black
was
men.
self-loathing. Hey, Mr. Pisces.
I love all
Speaking
the
of
black men.
speaking of
All
cute
of them.
black men, speaking of sexy, successful black
Yeah.
men. Hey,
Yeah.
Mr.
Hi, can
Pisces.
you? Good evening, good evening. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Can you hear me clear? No.
Yes.
I don't know. I was typing in the chat. I'm like, I agree to disagree with you guys. And I think point of view what Funky Danifa was saying, it's there's social circles that they hang out, and it's true you don't see a lot of black folks on those social circles. I think that's why they start dating outside of their race. And when you have black people, they are not out of, like, they still in the closet, majority of them living the double life. For example, football players, basketball players, you know.
Well, part of that is, and we spoke about this earlier. Well, let me first say there absolutely is no shortage. I want to dispel that notion, that trope, that myth that there is this shortage of successful, masculine presenting, successful black gay men out there that are successful, that are powerful, that are leaders, that are doing the goddamn thing. There is no shortage. Please be clear. Full stop, hard stop. Let me start there.
I will agree. I've run into a bunch of them.
Now, now, when you get to that other conversation about the ones that are in the closet or the ones that may be successful and choose not to come out there, that speaks to what I was talking about earlier. The fact that I don't know if in my lifetime, the black race of people, the black delegation, black America, will really come to terms with having a full scale, even conversation about the black gay community, or even in tolerating, much less embracing the community. And when I say embracing, that doesn't mean you take all of our lingo and all of our culture and then want no parts really to deal with us. What I'm saying is having full scale acceptance that these are real people. These are people just like you. When your child is born, you make no assumption as to what that child is going to be, gay, straight, whatever. You say my child is going to be my child, and whatever it is. You don't go when your child tells you that they are a member of the coalition. You say, "Well, I tolerate that, or I accept that." It's nothing for you to accept. It is who they are. It'd be like your child said, "Mom, Dad, I'm black," and you say, "I guess I'll accept that you're black." There's nothing for you to accept. It is who they are. And there's this, you have this, you just know that that's a fact, and there's nothing that you even have to grapple with. But my point being that in the black community, we are always, there's always a, even when there, and this is not for everybody, but even in a lot of cases when there's this, okay, I got the gay son over here. And I love my son. I love my daughter who's a lesbian. As if there's a proviso to that, or there's something to that, instead of, oh, this is just my son, this is just my daughter. That's it. I don't have to add I don't have to add anything to it.
I don't know, probably because I'm not an African American. I see totally different the way you see.
And
I
I
didn't
think a
grow up.
lot of it too, Mr. Pisces, is you being from Europe is a lot more inclusive, I would like to
Ye-
think, than we are
Yeah,
here.
because I have more tendency to the places I go, schools, everything, more mixed, more Caucasian
Hmm.
than here in US. So probably that's why I'm like, I don't know, because I didn't have the same experience as y'all, as a African American. This division that you guys have here in US. I don't know. It's totally different. That's why when Funky was saying, well, I didn't like the word Negroes. He should use black people instead of Negroes. And I agree with him. You don't have tons, and when you have, they don't want what do you call the two feminine, a RuPaul or the other one, a Porter. They don't want to date folks like that because they are too feminine, resemble as a female. So I don't know. I have a totally different approach than you.
And I think what this shows us is there's so much of some of the same feelings, viewpoints, and ideology
that our straight counterparts put on us, we put on ourselves.
That's true.
We put on ourselves because to hear this conversation, you're like, really?
Let me give you now. Let's put an example. That basketball daughter, the trans girl, Dwayne. Is Dwayne his
Oh,
name?
Zaya. Zaya,
Zaya.
Dwayne Wade's daughter, Zaya. Mhm.
Do you think when she will date an African American, or she's going to date a white person?
She was already dating a white boyfriend. We saw the boyfriend or girlfriend. Well, we saw the partner. I will say that. They absolutely were
You
white.
see, because the circle that she is in, they are more acceptance. They welcome her more than the black people.
That's
You see
true.
how
Hmm.
they are bashing the girl online because for me, I have the idea that she's embarrassing the race coming as a trans,
I
and
mean, if you look at the video, and Tracy, jump in when you need, the video proved my point. Funky was bashing us as black gay people. He
I don't think
absolutely
so.
came right out and said, "Ain't a whole lot of us." He said that. I think that what he said was, "Ain't a whole lot when you go places. Ain't the black people, the black Negroes ain't hitting like that." And I'm like, "Where the hell are you going?" Just saying.
I think Diva want back. But let me say this. As somebody who um has come across a lot, when I say a lot, I would say when I was still dating, probably 6 or 7 successful, masculine, heterosexual presenting men that when you peeled it back, you were like, oh, either A, you play for both teams, or B, I'm not who you want, but you're not ready to accept that I'm not who you want. You gay. And it turned into one of those things where, so I can't say that they're not there because I would, go out and be like, huh, so you are successful, you are, for all intents and purposes, masculine presenting. It's not like you are overly flamboyantly feminine, or you have, or anything like that, where it's like, oh well, girl, you should have known. Like it's not one of those things. And I also think it is where you are, right? Because when I'm in New York, it's like, oh, okay, there it's there. Or if I'm in Atlanta, or if I'm in Georgia, or depending on where I am in Georgia, I will get a different group of people and be like, there's nope, there's nothing here for me, or yes, there is, or I also think it's like where you are. But
Hmm.
my issue is, I think the problem is funky, like that. But this is just my thoughts, that there
I
is
mean, but he's
a
not. He's not the only one. Like he represents a lot of how the community feels. A good portion of how the community, and even if they didn't, he's so widely regarded by the younger members of the black gay community that when he says something like that, it becomes dangerous because they will attach that to how they believe and how they think, which is sometimes even more harmful than them finding out on their own.
oh, absolutely. I do think that at we have a as a people, we are at a disadvantage for how we accept our children, right? For just whoever they are, whatever whatever's going on with them, whoever they are, whatever they have going on, whatever, it does not matter. Just us accepting our kids, to put them in a space where they feel safe to be whoever they are, right? So then they grow up with this feeling of being safe wherever you are, not needing to hide who you are or anything like that. And then being able to embrace. And us as a people, we struggle with embracing, you know, what we don't consider to be the norm. So I think I told you this before. My son told me that he was bisexual, right? But he told me in a manner that, so we were I had paid the deposit for college. We were doing all the things. It was all of these things. He had a really good guy friend and he had a girlfriend, and the guy friend who I didn't know was his boyfriend, but not quite his. They had they hadn't quite crossed the threshold, but they
They
were
were doing the Micah
thinking.
and the
Pretty
college
much.
extreme.
Yes. Yep. They were there,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he had a
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. He had been out. I know that they had sex before. So whatever, fine, right? And he told me, we were like, oh, we were getting his stuff together. He was like, yeah, da 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 da. He was like, and I don't think I want to go to college because such and such isn't going, and I'm gonna miss him. What? He was like, yeah, mom. He was like, I think I love him. I think I'm bi. Completely missed me all day. I flipped out about him not going to school. I was like, you done lost your ever loving mind. I done paid this deposit. You got into this great school. You going. I don't care who not there. Let me tell you where you gonna be. The fact that he couldn't get his butt in this school ain't got nothing to do with me. That's not my problem. She got in. You got in. If he didn't get in, maybe he not the right person for you. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, but you going. And then maybe like 2 weeks later, he had said something. And he was like, yeah, he was like, my mom got really upset when I came out. I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, I could care less about that. I was like, because who you sleep with ain't got nothing to do with me. You taking your butt to this school. I know that. And that's where we left it, right? But but for me, like it had went all past, and he was like, oh, she's so upset. And I was like, boy, I could care less about that. I was like, I was upset at you saying you wanted to throw away this great opportunity. And come to find out, this joker don't talk to either one of them people no more.
Mm-hmm.
2 months into school, got somebody completely different, and it's happy as a clam. I'm like, and you was gonna throw everything away for get out my face. Uh,
Well, that comes with big, young, and dumb. I
yeah.
do want to coffee talk, coffee and talk said RuPaul and Porter. I think were embraced by white people more than black folks. I think that's why. Now, that is
Ooh.
a conversation that I can actually absolutely get with because if you say that, a lot of times white people are a lot more embracing and a lot more understanding. I understand that that is absolutely a part of the narrative and the conversation. But what you don't do is start off by saying that there's a shortage. That's where I was already. Oh, I just put earmuffs on because you started me off on the deep end. But that's absolutely a conversation that I'm willing to have. Now, while that is a part of, remember I said it's multiple factors. While
Mhm.
that is true, you still can't negate that there's, and I think Harold said it in the chat, centuries of conditioning of making black people feel that their own selves are inferior. It's built into the fabric of even our own black culture here in America. It's not until, I would say maybe, and we've always been a proud people, but there's now much more of an overabundance of black people seeing themselves for who they are, understanding the greatness that is black people and the greatness of who we are as a people, and the fact that we are coming to understand that wholly. That's why you have all of these laws to stop woke act, and they don't want black people to do anything to make them to remind themselves that they are great people and stuff like that.
Listen, I definitely, I
Can you
you
hear
know
me?
what, we
Yeah,
can.
we hear you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
You know what, I think it's my problem with what Funky said. It was he made it so singular, right? He made it just sound like, oh, there's not enough good black men to go around, and then you have to go outside. And I don't like that statement. I don't like that statement from women. I don't like that statement from men. I am raising a good black man. I'm dating a good black man. There are plenty of them out there. Now, mind you, it may not be that easy to find. they may be a little rough around the edges. There may be a little stuff therapy you
Mhm.
need to get them into and all that good stuff.
But
But I
hell,
don't like.
you might have some stuff that you need to work on. Why you over
Very
here
true.
looking for this person that's supposed to be all set up, everything's nice and hunky dory? Shit, you got some shit you need to work on. You ain't perfect either.
I absolutely agree. I think that's where I didn't like where Funky was coming from, because he made it just seem so singular. Like, oh, there ain't that many of them, and I'm like,
I think he was just sorry to cut you off, baby,
"Mhm,
Tracy. Uh, I think he was just pointing out on their circle, not in general. I know that you guys don't see for Quentin, but it's true. Let's not. It's true.
It's not. I can't say that. I cannot say that. I can't say that. I can't put that
okay,
and say that that's true.
so let me say this, right?
Mm,
I think it may go back to also what Quintessential was saying, right?
mm.
Is what is your definition of a successful person, of a successful mate, right? Like, what is that definition to you? Because I'm not gonna lie, Funky gives me real rich white woman tease.
Yes,
Like,
it does.
like,
And that's
Yes,
why
it does.
Alvin said that. Alvin said, here's a white
Yeah,
woman.
so
you
ma-
are a old
so
rich
then
white woman.
when we're thinking of
Thank
that,
you,
maybe
Kitty.
it turns into one of these things where, hey, his definition of successful, right? And then our definition of, or yours, it is just different, right? Um, which is also why I think the lumping it into, oh, there's not a lot of them, it is harmful, because I am pro black. I told my son, I don't care who you date. I don't care what you do. It don't bother me. Just don't bring me no alabaster person, because I know me. That's just not gonna work. Okay. I
Don
don't
Lemon.
care. That's
For
that is me. I
uh,
That's me.
sorry. For example, Don Lemon. He's a TV anchor. He's
Hmm.
a
Uh-huh.
tell me in his uh, area, in his circle,
Uh-huh.
who black and openly gay. Please tell me one.
But I will push back on that. And I would
Oh,
say, who does he choose to have in his circle?
oh no, no, no,
That's the question.
no, no, no.
Yeah, but
Oh, no, no. There's one.
go ahead.
I can't think of his name. El Teddy. Remember when we was talking about the people taking over for Good Morning America? And I was like, oh wait. And you was like, girl, he played for my team. And I was like, I know you lying just all the time.
Who?
He is good looking too.
Which
Oh
one?
my I can't think of his name.
Where would I know
But
him
I
from?
Listen, I think he's taking over. Is he taking over Good Morning America?
Oh,
For
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
can't think of his name, but
DeMarco,
yes,
DeMarco.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's one, because
but for example, Don
Well,
Lemon,
that's just. I give
where
you
he
another
lives.
example. I give you another example. The guy from I had to get my friends together on Facebook because the guy, what's his name, who plays M'Baku on Black Panther,
oh, what,
um,
um,
Winston Duke.
yes, Duke.
Winston
Oh,
Duke plays for my team. They had no clue. They were over there swooning, needing
you know,
claws underneath their chair, and
I
because
know he was.
he was on I think the Jimmy Fallon's show, and he was doing this thing where he was doing the Mbaku tribe, chant and teaching the people how to do the chant. And he was like real like vascular, but he was all like so. And I was like, y'all do realize he explained a while ago that he over here the Rainbow Coalition compound. They were like, what? You for real? Like, yeah. And the
But
point
I
that I'm
think,
making,
mm,
Mr. Pisces, is I said this earlier, I have a circle of friends that all are phenomenally successful,
yeah,
unapologetically black. All of their
hmm
mates are black. They want no parts of, you know what I'm saying? And I know so many people up and down my friend circles and lists that have the same thing. Not that they don't know white people, not that they may not have some white acquaintances. Notice I said acquaintances, they're not friends, but white acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about who you choose. I know some of them that are successful, from TV anchors to, I know somebody that's a politician. Like, There are no shortage of these people. I know people that are doctors that are doing all types of phenomenal things, and their circles are
I'm
unapologetically
not
black.
saying otherwise, but if you, I was giving an example of Porter and Don Lemon. They hang out more in white circles, not in a black circle. Yes, of course you have doctors, you have lawyers, you have teachers, college teachers, blah, 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 blah. But they are not in the same circles as Don Lemon, for example. They're not.
Because he chooses that though. I'm
So
gonna
you
say that.
want to make Don Lemon to
I
he's
want no
in
parts
a
of black
certain.
people. No, no, no. Remember the Don Lemon before? I'm gonna say, when did Don Lemon start to get a little more blacker? With around the Michael Jackson death time, he
Mhm.
started to try to be a little more black. But Don Lemon, going back to old school Don Lemon, didn't want any parts of black asses. Let's just be clear. Just like I don't, I will put him like a RuPaul. They ain't want no parts of us way back then. They don't want no parts of us now. They made no bones about not wanting no parts of us. They just are okay being the token black amongst the white people, and they're supposed to be the voice for all black people amongst white people, which is why white people don't understand us black people, because y'all listening to people that don't know nothing, no parts of us, don't want no parts of us, and aren't around us.
First, I see more. How you call those two rappers? The one from your area, from Miami, Santana, and the kid, the cowboy kid,
Santana,
and the other, the cowboy kid,
Lil
the
Nas X.
and Nas X. I see them more in dating more black people than white folks. Why? Because the environment, their circle, everything, it's associated with the circle.
And that goes
It's,
back to what I said, the choice. That is a choice that they made.
but I'm not gonna see Don Lemon throwing his ass in the same circle as Santana. No, I don't. He's too bushy for that.
Okay, I will say this. What Don Lemon's husband is what, like a real estate person? He's like a real estate agent or a realtor or something like
Uh,
that. Like he's, in the real estate realm, right?
Hmm.
But when you yeah, because it's Tim something. I can't think of that man name. I'm not great with them alabaster folks. Hey, it is what it is.
The people
His name
descended
is
from the Caucasus Mountains.
his name is Tim something, and he's
Tim
in like
Malone.
real estate. Yeah, so he's in
Yeah,
like
he's
real
a
estate or
real
something
estate
like that.
broker. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
certain.
like,
He's cute though.
would you then look at that like so from the you know out front TV personality of Don Lemon, and then you're like a real estate broker. So it's not like a successful person who is out in the public eye cannot date someone who is out of the public eye and still successful in their own right. Right? So they don't always have to match, you know, one for one in the ability to be publicly successful, right? Because okay, so I'm in New York. So there's a lot of people who are successful and they
Hmm.
look like two steps away from being homeless sometimes. And you'd be like, huh,
True.
huh, hmm. Like I know for sure I seen you in this like 3 days ago. Like, do you own multiple outfits? I'm so confused. And then you go and then you're like, okay, well, let's go over my portfolio. And it's like, okay, $19,763 in assets in this thing. But you look two steps away from being like,
And that's
hey, do
why
you
I
got
say
some change?
that's why I say it really depends on what they choose to go after.
Uh-huh.
Now, some people, now you're always going to hear, well, that's just my preference. That's just my preference. That's just
Yes,
my
that's true.
preference. And but a lot of times that preference that you had is based in
Self
racism
hate.
and discrimination and embedded bigotry that's built into the culture of learning who you are. A lot of this preference stems from you, from your earliest memories, being told that who you are, because especially if you're both black and you're both gay, oh no, that's wrong from the beginning.
And if that's how you start, you develop that preference based on that. I'm just saying.
We will stay with the agree to disagree. But okay.
You know what? But
But but no.
you're
But
not wrong,
that's just my
Yes, I
opinion.
know.
right?
I
So
know.
Yeah.
here's
I
the
know. I
thing,
know,
right?
darling.
In no part of this equation is any of us wrong, because all of it means
Hmm.
that I can give you a person and you'll be like,
Hmm.
Hmm.
no, that fits into exactly what you're saying. And you can give me a
Hmm.
person, and you'll be like, nope, that fits into exactly. El Teddy can give someone and
Hmm.
be like, oh, that fits exactly. Because there are so many different things in each group, and there are so many things floating around in there, that all of us are collectively right at some
Hmm.
point in time, depending on what person you choose to be your example. And that is where it turns into my dislike of funky making it seem very, oh, there's none. No, no, there's none for what you are looking for or what you
Yeah.
are interested in. Or, as he said, that is attracted to him. Because let's be honest, there may be some great catches who looks at him and says, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not.
That's true.
So it is. So sometimes you could possibly be like, as Teddy said, sometimes you could be the problem. You could want all these great things, but you are the
Or I'll
hindrance
give you
to
this
why you don't
example,
get it.
Mr. Pisces. You know
Go
how
ahead.
when you get on, well, you don't do this because you're a whole married man out there. But you know how when you get on the apps like the Jacks, the Grinders, the A for A Radar, or whatever,
Yes. Hmm.
and they have this long grocery list, no fats, no films, no this, no that. They got a whole dissertation about what you better not be and what you better fit in. And you looking like, well, who do you want? Like you eliminated the whole human species. Like, what do you want now? You want horses? You want wildebeest? You want bears, like actual bears that are in the forest? You want antelope? Like, what do you want? Because I don't understand. Because they go through this long grocery list, and it's like, well, Jesus,
And
my God.
now that you touch that, when I was on those apps, I had those preference. No femme. Why? Because if I want a femme, I date a female. I date a woman. I don't want to date a dude that will, how you say in English, resemble?
Mhm.
Yeah, resemble a female. It is a huge turn off. I want in a limbo, not too mask, not too femme. For example, you're not too femme, so you're in that limbo. But don't do that. Stop it.
Don't get me started. Don't get me.
As soon as you
Too femme.
said that, I was like,
You see,
Woo!
you see how you
You
are.
know it don't take
You
much from
know,
me. You know it don't take much. Oh man, go ahead. I'm sorry.
you're stupid.
You know it don't take a lot.
But no, and I understand in those apps. Yeah, when I was over there overseas in Europe, I had tons of problems to date, or because no, I don't like your kind, you know, that brown, or you're black, you're descended from African. It was tough. Or certain even African Europeans, they don't date black folks because you know they have that preference.
And I'm not going to say that that preference isn't even over there.
Mhm.
There's this the,
That's
the
true. That's true.
the proliferation of white supremacy and white privilege spans the globe. Even when you go to Southeast Asia, the countries like Thailand, China, and other countries down in Southeast Asia, they want no parts of black people. There's videos that you could go search floating around, like when
That's
some
true.
NBA players and stuff will go over there, they will call out N words, they will throw things at them. It's a hostile environment.
that is
Like,
true.
and so it's so interesting that it's damn near universal that when black people go to a certain place, they are almost universally looked at as if they are inferior or as if they're not as good.
You know what the other option is?
Mm.
They'll think you're a celebrity and want to take a picture with you. It's such an odd dichotomy of people. Because so we were in South Korea on a train because we had did Japan and South Korea. So we were like kind of traveling. So we were on a train, and they seen my son and was like, "Oh!" And someone went and they like touched his hair, and he was like, "Mom, what am I supposed to do?" And I like just kind of scooted him over closer to me. And then these other people were like scream. I was like, I have no idea what they saying, but I need you to understand. I will put my hands on you. Like I don't know how to explain this to you, but they were just so it was like in this same train ride, we had people who were trying to take pictures and like in awe, and then this other group of people that were like, I know when someone doesn't like me for no like you could feel the energy of some people, and it was just so odd to see two different sets of people who are very close in age range have very polarizing feelings about us black folks for God knows what reason, because I was just really trying to, make sure I seen the one little English translation, of all the doggone languages for the one stop to make sure I got off where I needed to get off at. So it was like, oh, so there is that thing of depending on where you are, people feel very differently, or there's very polarizing feelings about you. Like I am the first person to say, like, I don't do alabaster. I'm not doing no pink meat. I'm not going to touch you when you change color. There's nothing about that is appealing to me, right? But that is me in a preference, right? And people are like, oh, it's because you. I was like, no, I love what I was like. I have so many of them. I if I suck you and it turn color, it's gonna freak me out, and I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't. That's not. It's not in my ministry. I just can't do it, right? But it doesn't mean I don't like. I have tons of alabaster friends. Love them. Love them. They're great. I just can't sleep with them. Like it's just no. There's no attraction there to be like, oh,
Oh my God.
I love El Teddy, love him, but there's no attraction to sleep with him. You see what I mean? Like you can love somebody and not want to sleep with them. And I think
That's
that
true.
we also need to remember that sometimes your preferences, as long as your preferences are not like I you disgusting for a reason of like vitriol, right?
Mhm.
Preferences to say like, oh,
Like,
I don't like
I'll
someone
give
who's
you a
femme
perfect
because they're female.
example.
Like, okay, cool.
Although I, my preference may not be white people, I can look at a white man and say, "Oh, he is a cute white man." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can look at a white man and be like, "He's a sexy white man." You
Mhm.
know, real cute. Would we date? But he fine. But
Oh
would
yeah.
we date? No, probably not.
For example, what do you think when Serena came out and she started dating outside of her race, even though she dated black folks? You guys were like, "Whoa, what's she doing?"
I don't know if I was like that with Serena, only because Serena had dated, different. It wasn't like when she came into having, fame, fortune, and money, she stopped dating black men because that wasn't the case. So to me, that was a proximity situation because wasn't he her coach for many years before they started dating? I think he was, or a trainer, something
Yeah,
like that.
he was in the
On
athletic
the,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was on the staff or something like that. And so that was like a proximity situation, which okay,
See,
you know what? I
it's
ain't
the
had no problem.
circle.
Listen,
Right.
listen. I am not gonna lie to you. My initial thought was, oh no, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. That was my initial thought, right? But then when I sat, because I was like, oh, there's black love, and I love black love, and I love all forms of black love. Great. But then when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, you know what? It's not like she has not put herself out there to date multiple black men and have fallen short, right? So to me, it's like when it's just like anything else. When you tell it, like even if you told a kid, right? You're like, if you gave it 110%, you did everything you could possibly do, and if it doesn't work out, I can't fault you for whatever you do after that because you gave it a fair chance. I don't fault. I don't look at her and be like, oh no, you can't. epitomize what black, or you can't tell me what black love is because you were married to a white man. It's like I I see you try. Like there was a thing of, oh, okay. But then when we got people, I know you're gonna be a little upset, El Teddy, but listen, but hear me out. You got people like Nick Cannon who it looked like he gonna have a baby with everybody that isn't, dark skinned. He gonna get one of every race, every,
Bingo.
every little person that he could possibly find that is of, of some sort of,
If you have a
I
hole, he's
can't
sticking
quite
it in there.
I can't quite put my finger on what your race is. He gonna go through all of
He's
them.
looking for pink. As long as the hole is pink, that's all he got.
Listen, but you can't listen. You can't be too dark though, because he has the one baby
He
mama
do have a
who's
type.
oh
He
he
does
he
have
he,
a type.
he oh he got a type, and his type is definitely all lighter than me. I'm probably too dark for his type, and I
Hmm.
ain't even dark. But so for me, it's one of those things where it turns into, you know, when I look at someone like him. I give all types of side eye and all types of issues because I'm like, sir, and the one baby mama who you do got who got a little color to her, there was no big fancy there was none of you just kind of snuck her in real low key, like ignore her, just look at the rest of them. So I agree with you that there is some times where you look at people and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see where you're going, who you're dating, and there's probably a problem. And then there's sometimes where I look at people and say, you gave this person or multiple people of our race a chance and it didn't work, and everyone deserves love, right?
I
Everyone
don't feel
deserves
like
some
for
love.
Serena, I don't feel like she's cut off all
No,
black men. I feel like this is just who she fell in love with. Proximity, she does not. And I can't speak for her, but the manner in which she has moved and done her dating and things doesn't make me feel like, oh, she has a problem internally with you know black people, because I'm not saying that there's a problem with interracial dating and marriage at all. That's what you love. You love. You love. However, it's very convenient when the only thing presented in front of young, black, impressionable, gay men or boys is, oh, if you want to be someone of status and notoriety, you got to have this white husband because that's what's presented. And you can't say that that isn't impressionable among in the front end or in the sight of a young gay black boy, where everything they see is, okay, you got to have this white person on your arm. You got to have this white person on your arm. Even on the heterosexual side, they have a white person on their arm. And we're just getting to the point where we're starting to see that not be the case more often than not. That's impressionable. I'm just saying. I'm just
you
saying.
know what? I can't talk about Katanji because I don't know her prior dating history. Like I
Oh,
didn't
she
even see
used to
what she
date
had.
black folks. She dated Drake and some other rappers. I don't know.
Not
Rappers? Yeah.
Ketanji Brown
Wait,
Jackson.
wait a minute. Oh, no, I think he's still talking about Serena. Oh,
Oh, oh,
Oh.
girl. Ketanji Brown Jackson is not out here dating Will in the
Drake.
wheelchair. Wheelchair Jimmy. She is not out here dating wheelchair Jimmy, who I can't stand. Y'all know I can't stand the boy in the wheelchair.
So, sorry to cut you off.
Who I
I'm
can't
gonna
stand the
drop
boy in the
down
wheelchair.
because I'm gonna eat because I'm starving. Thanks so much for letting me come up and talk to you a little bit. Been a minute.
No, you'll be
I
around
don't.
my part too. I know you be in the bushes, but you'll be
Yeah.
coming.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Of course.
We do
Thanks
have
so
Silly
much.
Saturday tomorrow, y'all. First Silly Saturday of the year. We do have Silly. Oh, I gotta get ready for that. That takes a
Yeah.
long time, y'all. It takes a long time to prep for Silly Saturday, but it'll be tomorrow. God.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. And
Hashtag
Tracy,
justice for the
enjoy
names.
enjoy the rest of your night,
You
Tracy. Lots of
too.
love, Del Teddy, and
Yes, I'm
I'll see
about to
you in
be
the.
outside. I'm going outside tonight, y'all. I'm about to be in these streets.
It's Friday. How you say?
St. Peaches.
Friday
TGIF.
13 or 13? No,
Oh,
today
it's
it's
Friday the
the
13th.
13th.
It absolutely is. So these
Be
people gonna
careful
be real crazy.
because Jason needs outside too. Okay.
Oh, he could come stab me with his sword. I mean, his machete.
Hey. Oh, okay. I'm leaving. Lots of
Listen, y'all got Delta Sigma Theta Founders Day and Friday the 13th the one day. These people finna be buck wild. And it's Martin Luther King weekend. These people finna be out of control this weekend. They finna be wide open. It's a
Like
3-day
you.
weekend. No lie told. We about to be wide open.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is a Ketanji Brown Jackson. I'm like, I don't know her dating history. Like, I know who her husband is now, right?
I
But I
don't. I
didn't.
know she has a white husband. I do know her husband
Mm-mm.
is white. I do
Oh
know
yeah. Yeah, he
that.
alabaster as they come.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know. I know she's from Miami. She went to. I think she went to Killian. But then she go to Palmetto. She was the one to Killian on Palmetto, which is not a predominantly black school. It's not.
Yeah. So, I will say this. You know what? I also think that I'm probably not the best person to speak when it comes to funky because there is a bias to when it comes to me because I like there is a dislike there that I
I
have
just
for
think
him.
that for funky.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
I try not to speak on things involving funky. Like I never talk about because I know too much, for lack of a better term. So I have biases that people don't have, and people be like, "Why you feel like?" And I'll be like, "I know things, and I know stories, and I know real things that y'all never heard of and will never hear of that make me feel some way."
I was like, look, I don't know you personally, but I could spot misogyny a mile away, and I could tell you right now, you probably ain't my type of friend, and we gonna get along too well. So I don't follow. Nah, I think I'm good on that one. Like there's some
Okay,
people
Mr.
who
Pisces, thank
I'm
you.
just kind of good on. I can't. I'm just kind of good on some people because
Kamala does have a white husband.
mm,
She does. Her husband real white too. Oh,
ooh,
he ain't even a
mm,
cute
mm,
white. He is white
mm,
white. I be looking
mm,
at her like, oh, you sleep next to him? Like, girl.
ooh, yeah. Her level of alabaster is real high. I was like, ooh.
I'm right. I be looking like, oh, that might be why they don't have no kids.
Listen, I was like, mm-mm, mm-mm,
Girl,
mm-mm.
girl, you sleep next
I was
to
like, and Annette Doug. I was like, oh wow,
him? Girl.
just I don't know how
I
this
be like,
even gets.
Kamala.
I was like, how? Like maybe I need to see pictures of him back in his heyday. Because
But they
I'm
weren't
just saying,
married back in his heyday.
I'm just saying, the Alabaster people age terribly. So
But
maybe
when she got married to him, he had already had them kids and stuff. Oh,
look, I'm gonna try and find a picture of her wedding day.
mm-mm,
What did that mayo look like back then?
mm-mm. Oh, child. Girl, girl,
Like I need to see what this is.
girl.
What does this look like? Because I mean,
A mess. I
if
don't know. I ain't never
ooh,
seen no red
you
picture.
are absolutely right. It looks just as terrible as it did back
Oh,
then.
see the picture. Girl, I told you.
Just
Because
as
when she
bad.
married him, he was already, had kids. I don't know what happened to the first wife. I don't know if she did or whether they just divorced. I don't know. Child.
But you know how some people you be like, oh, that's a good looking, and then
Mm,
as years go, and you're like, ooh,
mm-mm.
you didn't age well, like
I don't know if that
ooh.
was a money situation. I don't know if that was a money situation. Maybe he gave her a lot toward her campaign
Listen, was
for
it a power play?
California Attorney General or
Hold up,
something. I don't know.
was
But
it a power play?
baby,
What's your family money? You must have a good family money tree
must
because
be. Because, baby, that ain't cute, honey. Ooh, she
mm-mm.
probably got a dude on the side, breaking her back in. Child, they slip him in the back door to the Naval
Uh,
Conservatory where she stay at. And baby, he slips in the back door of the building and then slips in her back too. Because baby, you can't tell me you sleeping with that young man every night and happy. I'm looking like girl.
mm, mm-mm, mm,
Mm-mm.
mm-mm. Nope. See, but I'm also Anderson Cooper is oh well, I mean,
Anderson Cooper ain't really my type. He's not an ugly white man. He's an attractive white man. I will give Anderson Cooper that. He's an attractive white man.
hmm. I mean, he looked better than Doug.
He looked better than Andy Cohen. I don't see how people be sitting for Andy Cohen. Cohen is not cute to me at all. Don Lemon ain't cute to me either. So Don Lemon, Billy Porter, RuPaul,
Listen, the crazy thing is Don's husband looked better than him, and he alabaster. It is just an odd
the whites can
pairing.
have a lot of them. The whites can have them. I don't care. Go ahead to the people descended from the Caucasus Mountain. Don Lemon is not cute to me. I would never get nothing from me. Out of that list they call, let me see who might get something from me.
All
Karomo,
of them.
well, he already had some. Well, that's
Wait. I'm sorry. Say that one more time. What
nope.
was that? What was that?
Um,
Who
who
already
else
had a
they
piece of
name
what?
on that list? Would I give Sean T some? Not that we've allegedly seen his meat. I feel like he would want me to blow his back out, and I probably would in a weak moment. Give me enough alcohol, I might.
Okay.
Um, I would want him to be darker though. He a little too high yellow for me. Who else they calling out on it? Todrick Hall could never get nothing. I don't even want him in my same airspace. So that was never a word for me. Excuse me.
Wait. So you mean that on a real drunk night, Todrick couldn't?
No,
Not enough
absolutely not.
alcohol.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Ain't enough alcohol, and you could feel the whole Pacific Ocean up and have me drink all that alcohol, and I have to be passed out, and he take advantage of my body. It's a no for me.
Okay.
Yeah. That's never gonna be a question.
You know how sometimes you be like, oh, if I get drunk enough.
Ain't that
Okay.
much. The one that I said drunk enough would be um um who did I just say?
Shanti.
I
Okay.
told you one of them I already had, so that check box is already done. Um who else did they name? Michael Sam. Would I never really got into Michael Sam like that.
Oh, so Jeff, you had a crush on Cuomo. Apparently, someone else did too.
I don't have to crush on people.
Oh, okay. Listen, Winston Duke can have all of us willingly.
I don't know. Winston Duke is not my type. I don't like big guys like that. So
I know you don't. You like them rail thin.
hmm
Rail
like my
thin.
man is skinny. Give me some Wiz Khalifa, even though he ugly in the face, but that boy.
Well, I mean,
If we doing all back shots, nobody has to look at anyone's face. So
that is a valid point. That is a valid. We could do this whole entire thing, and I ain't never got to see you.
hello,
Never
hello.
got to see you.
For me, missionary is reserved for people who I got feelings for. If I ain't got no feelings for you, if this a sneaky lady, if this a bust down, baby, you ain't getting no missionary. Baby, you get these good back shots. Call me back shots Becky, and we can keep it the fuck moving. That's all we doing, okay? Back shots Belinda, whatever you want to call me. But we ain't doing no
I
missionary.
mean,
No, ma'am.
that makes very viable sense. I can see that. I can see that. I mean, because when you put it like that,
Now, DeMarco can get it every day of the week, twice on Sundays. Mhm. Mhm. There's another in my hometown, Miami. There's a news anchor. His name is I call him Layron, but he says it's Laren. Your mama named you Layron. Layron is Layron. You can call it Laren Livingston. Your name Layron Livingston. Okay, what your mama named you. You calling it Laren? It's Layron. Anyway, he cute. I'll let him get some.
There are times that I always wonder, is there somebody who couldn't? But whatever. I'll
Hey,
let you have it.
Tim's overdose. You want to find out about these back shots, Belinda? Why they call me back shots, Belinda? You know how to find out, Tim. You already know. You know where to see me at. You know where to meet me at. You know where to meet me at. Tim's overdose. Hey, Sim, that's my little boo right there. That's my little husband. Tim's overdose. Mm.
You must be into polygamy because you got a few of them.
Don't worry about what I got going on. You
Oh,
worry about
okay.
the wrong goddamn thing.
Oh,
Don't be calling me out. Don't be trying to embarrass me in front of these
I'm
people.
not.
You see
I
how he said,
absolutely
yes,
not.
I do. Thank you.
Mhm.
Worry about what I got going on. Y'all see how my people be out here embarrassing me? She about as bad as really be. Just calling me out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Shaq Brewster is cute. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Shaq Brewster is fine as fuck. He be on what is it, NBC or is it CNN? I think it's MSNBC and NBC. Shaq Brewster be fine. They always sending him out to the worst places, to the most dangerous places. But all that chocolatey goodness on Shaq Brewster, I be like, oh, girl, Shaq. Woo, he fine, fine. Mm.
Turn on MSNBC just to get a little.
Go
Put
search
it
him
on mute.
out. Girl, go look him up. Just Shaq Brewster. He'll come up. I think he's on MSNBC and
He is
NBC.
on MSNBC.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
hmm
Yep. He's on MSNBC.
They be having
Sometimes
him
you
in
just put
all
it
the
on
worst
mute.
places.
I understand.
It be complete, like you say, so the hurricanes, riots, and everything going around him. He be in the middle of everything. During the Christmas break, they had him. Hold on, y'all gotta take this.
So now that Teddy done left me up here by myself, I just want to be the first one to say that when we hung out, he got me extra drunk, extra drunk, and had me talking to these weird random people. I was so confused, but they was at least black because y'all know I don't really do the alabasters too tough. But that's neither here nor there. We had a real good time. It was super cool. But then I realized that Teddy a hoe from the '90s, and I was like, I could get down with this. So we had a real good time. He was super fun. It was great. Now, when I think back on this, was there any alabaster? There was no. We went to a place. There was not one alabaster person. Not a one. We made sure that it was all of us. It was such a really really good time.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to take care of some business. I'm about to get off here because that was the call I was waiting for. Anyway,
To go get into some business. Got it. Okay.
that's later tonight. Okay, don't judge me. You don't know my pain. You don't know what I've been through.
I might have
Yeah,
an
been
idea or
lazy.
two.
Not with my husband in the chat. You all trying to embarrass me, girl. Oh, y'all know what? I didn't get nobody agreed to be my special um guest tomorrow on color commentator for Silly Saturday. So what that means, mods, one of y'all is gonna be voluntold. Since nobody volunteered, then the mod is gonna one of the mods gonna be voluntold.
Does it have
So Jeff,
delicious
you coming
meal?
up on Silly Saturday tomorrow? Because I need to know. Somebody got to come up here. Danny,
Listen,
Tracy,
I'm already up
Jason.
here. I'm already up here. I feel like So Jeff should be volunteered because I could just clean go and be like, he about to talk trash about Beyonce. He'll come up here.
You know he
He'll be
will.
right. He'll be right
I,
here to defend.
I haven't even narrowed down the dossier for tomorrow, so
All
I
I'm
don't
saying
know
is he
if he
said
is or is not.
something about how dare she put out an album and they had not nan visual the first. And he'll be up here windmilling. He'll be ready.
Mhm.
He'll come right up here to gather you.
Bless his heart. Bless. He don't know no better.
He'll
He
come
don't. He
gather
don't
you
know no
real
better.
quick.
Bless
See?
his heart. Bless his heart. One of my Mars, y'all gonna get voluntold tomorrow.
I'm gonna decide in the morning. Hey, oh, now you got work. Conveniently, you got work tomorrow. Ain't no work tomorrow. It's Martin Luther King weekend. We off till Tuesday because we black. I wish my job would tell me I'm working this weekend, baby. But I tell them, no, I'm not.
Listen, I will be at work on Monday because they offered me double time and a half, and I was like,
They can
well,
offer me triple time. I'll be home.
I was like, well, I was like, I double time and a half. Martin would
My
have
job didn't
understood.
even want that fight. They just closed. They
Martin would
just
have.
closed. We ain't even doing it.
Martin
Well, so
understand.
Jeff, hit me up. You know how to hit me up. Hit me up, and we'll figure it out. 'Cause, I need to get that ready for tomorrow. That y'all don't understand. It'll be taking me like 3 or 4 hours to get Silly Saturday produced. It's a lot.
I would
Anyway,
imagine. I mean, scrolling through Instagram, finding new
finding the stories and
finding new menses to gaze at. I mean, just the hours you have to spend just scrolling through, looking
really,
at all the
really,
different
that's what we're doing.
images
That's what
to
we're doing.
find the best angles for the best
That's what
photos.
we're doing.
Absolutely. I give you so much credit. That is dedication, Elsa. That is dedication. What? Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
I'm not
Hey,
doing this with you.
what? Jason, he had some boobs in there the other day. He did. He was equal
I
opportunity.
mean,
There was
I was equal opportunity. The last Silly Saturday, we had boobs galore,
yes, he
titties,
did.
titties, and more titties.
He definitely did. And they were, um they were natural. They had
Mhm.
came, you know, it was a part of the package. They wasn't even purchased. They was,
So
the
I gotta
right
find some more.
ones.
That means I gotta go through and find some titties tomorrow. Oh, Lord.
I'm just listen. I applaud you for the dedication, okay? Because no one cannot say that you are not an equal opportunity host,
That is
okay?
unless speaking of today's topic, that is unless you're looking for something descended from the Caucasus Mountain, because we ain't never having that. You can get that on up. You can let that go. I do not care. Fight your mama. Don't fight me about it.
I mean, unless they want to get dragged by their blonde head, I don't know what to tell them. I don't really do the alabasters too tough, so I ain't never gone. Oh, well, no, I did give you an alabaster story. She was getting gang banged at work. I mean, that sounded like
You know what? Let me get my butt up off here. I got to be somewhere at 8 o'clock playing with y'all.
that's all.
God, and it's like 2 degrees outside. Like lower 30. It was snow flurries earlier. I'm not here for this. God.
Well, this was fun. I'm gonna let you go.
Yes, we might.
Have
Yeah. Thank
fun.
you so much, Tracy, for coming up. Thank
Thank
you for coming up, Mr. Pisces. Thank you, Quintessential, for coming up. Thank y'all for being engaging in the chat because y'all were really engaging. And I know sometimes these are hard conversations, the hard topics to unpack, and you all helped me do that so beautifully and effortlessly. And I'm appreciative to you all. Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy, where you at? I thought you was coming down here for Martin Luther King, Jeremy. Chat. Yeah. Jeremy, you want to call Silly Saturday with me tomorrow? I got to do Silly Saturday. My people, I need a color commentator for Silly Saturday. If so, let me know. You know how to reach me, Jeremy. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get up off here. I gotta be somewhere about 8 o'clock, before 8 o'clock, actually. As I always say before I leave, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged, much appreciated. I know some of you all get cash apps today, and that was great. I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna try to do it by 12 time, 12 noon Eastern, 9 Pacific is my time that I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for 12 because I'm not going to be able to do it tonight. So that means I'm going to have to get up early in the morning and spend 3 or 4 hours getting prepared. So if I shoot for 12, I can do that. I can do that. Anyway, so Silly Saturday tomorrow, I'm going to say 12 noon tomorrow. If anything, I'll probably push it back before I push it earlier. I'm telling you that now. Before it goes earlier, it's going to go later. Just being honest. So y'all be ready. Be in the comment section. Be ready to do what we do for Silly Saturday.
That is our flagship programming here on this channel. Thank y'all so much for this conversation today. I do think it was needed. We probably didn't unpack everything that we could have, but like I said, it's such a convoluted conversation. There's so much there that, you know, like it was said, nothing wrong, nothing right about what you said. It's just we all have our vantage points and our opinions on it. I ain't traveling. I'm not doing this with you. But the people are here, child. I'm not going out with them. I'm going to a little house party or two, but I won't be out there in them clubs because you know these girls. It's cold out there. They're gonna be fighting and carrying on. Last time, people got shot and put in the hospital down there. I think it was at Bulldogs or Marquette or one of them ghetto places. I can't do it, honey. Child, girl, child. Anyway, we about to get up off here, y'all. Until tomorrow for Silly Saturday. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We out.